right, guys, we are back. I'm pulling double duty today. I think this is the first time I recorded a back-to-back episode, but we got episode 329 with my man, the legend, Billy Hayes, New York's own.
Thank you.
Comedy legend. Have you ever done stand-up? No.
I did, but very short term. I just like working with comedians.
Okay. Because I don't even know what you do now. Like, I know, because I met you through Chris.
On the road
Shout out
with,
Chris DiStefano. I met Billy through Chris
man.
DiStefano, a very funny comic. We were in Boston. He was traveling with Chrissy.
I always travel.
And we were howling, laughing in the green room, making up dumb fucking songs.
Making up dumb. Billy Hayes loves the cock.
Doodah.
Doodah. My buddy Pat Monroe still sends me, "Hey, Doodah, what's up?"
But you work for Gotham, right? You work for Chris Mazzilli?
I work for Chris Mazzilli.
Guy's a legend.
He is a legend. And he's
nice guy. Nice guy. He's one of the first guys to pass me.
Not only is he my boss, but he's just a great human being.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Just a great human being.
Like I was saying, he was one of the first guys to pass me at a comedy club. I went and did the very first show I did with Jeff on the road was there. And then we came back, 6-8 months later, and he and the manager saw my set, and he came up and said, he's like, "Hey, if you ever want to feature, you're good." Yeah, so first guy to pass me, which obviously, especially for me in New York and at Gotham, which is a legendary club, it fucking meant a lot. Bastard. I don't know, man. That's yet to be seen,
hilarious.
Billy.
Nah, you are. We had some funny fucking times.
So what do you do for Gotham security?
Well, I'm floor manager.
Okay.
Floor manager.
Okay, but you used to road manage for a little while too, right?
Yeah, he went on the road, especially with Chris. I love going on the road with Chrissy.
Oh yeah.
There's nobody going on the road with Chrissy and Colin is not work. That is just fun.
Oh
man.
yeah.
That is just fun.
Actually, one of the few times I was starstruck was I was going to tell you the first time I met Colin Quinn. Jeff Dye introduced me. We were at the Cellar, and Jeff knows I'm a big Colin Quinn fan from Tough Crowd and going back to watching it. I was watching him in high school, perform at the Comedy Cellar, and Jeff's friendly with him, and Jeff, knew I didn't want to be a bother, and he demanded I call me over when he was talking to Connie, introduce me, and then we talked about Ridgewood for a little bit, where I'm from.
Where you're from?
And then the next night, Colin, the sweetheart that he was, remembered my name, remembered I lived in Ridgewood, and started bullshitting with me about it again the next night when Jeff was on stage. So he's a sweet guy about it.
Yes,
but
he still doesn't remember my name. And I only know him about 30
You've only known him
years.
for 25 fucking years.
But, I'm out here with Colin. Colin and I came out here together, and he's just the nicest. I mean, we had a meeting last night with Chris Caldovino, who you just met, and Terry Winter.
Terry Winter of HBO Sopranos fame.
Sopranos, yes.
What did he write, like 100 episodes of it, some shit like that?
He did a whole
Most
bunch
of
them.
Yeah.
He did a whole bunch of them, and he did Boardwalk Empire, of course, which is, I just love.
You grew up with Terrence, right?
Yes, Terrence is a Marine Park guy.
Is that where you grew up, Marine Park?
Brooklyn. I was very close to Chris Caldovino, who is Terrence's best friend.
Okay.
Who you
just met outside.
Yes, exactly. Chris Caldovino was in Terrence's new show, Tulsa King, which comes out November 13th.
Nice. Look at this guy, professional, plugging all the projects.
Starring Sylvester Stallone. Well, I got to pub Terry and Chris.
I don't think Terry Winter and Chris need help.
No, I don't.
You need to plug my shit, Billy.
But but
I'm starving over here.
But
for Christ's sake.
We had a meeting last night, and I just sat there and just couldn't
in all these guys.
Of both of them just having their conversation.
Now, I heard, though, because you were so nice to take me to Clementi's Clam Shack,
Jimmy
fucking
Muir's.
best Marine Park, just the fucking sickest restaurant.
How insane is that restaurant? Is that the best?
Oh, yeah. And Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy, the owner.
Jimmy Muir is
a gem. But we were talking because
we all grew up together. Jimmy
that's
Muir,
what I'm saying.
Chris Caldovino, Terry, we all grew up together.
So the first time I went, you took me there, which was awesome because fucking Jimmy was there, so everything was on the arm, and I'm a broke comic, so I needed that. Eating fucking $80 crab legs for free, and the drinks were free too. I mean, and he had them flowing. We must have had 12 martinis, and they were telling me. So you, Terry Winter, Chris, Jimmy, all grew up together in Marine Park.
Correct.
But they were telling me that you were like the badass in the neighborhood coming up.
Well, nothing I'm proud of. I was. I had issues. Back
they were
in
saying
the
you used to bust guys up pretty good.
Because
they were a couple years younger than you, right?
Yeah, a couple of years younger than him, about
Okay.
4 or 5. Terry's my age.
Okay.
Colin's my age.
But Jimmy's
Colin's let's just say Colin's older than me.
Okay.
So I could always keep that.
You remind him of that every
I
every
got to
day?
remind him that. And,
But you used to bust guys up back in the day, huh?
back in the day, I was misguided.
What years was this? Like what? Like
Well,
4
I was abused. I was bullied in school.
Okay.
I was bullied in. I don't want to get into the whole family life.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't,
Abuse at home and that kind of thing.
It was little dysfunction.
And when did you like break into being sort of a tough guy?
I
How old
got
were you? How
to
old were you?
About 14, almost 15. I made my way to PAL Boxing.
Okay.
Sweeney Center down on Schneider Avenue in Flatbush in Brooklyn, and there was a lot of Vito Montefermo fought out of there, and a lot of tough guys that fought out of there. And this guy Patty Barr who became a fighter for the New York City Fire Department. Michael Barr, those guys fought out of there, and
Did you like box competitively, all like Golden Gloves?
Yeah. I did all that, and but when the anger that I had,
Yeah.
I took out into the street.
Okay.
Because I just hated bullies, and I kind of went after.
Did you ever get to the crime side of it? Did you ever start doing?
I was never really. I hung out with some people.
I was going to say, I assume this is the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
right?
70s and 80s,
And
yeah.
the mob was running rampant through that time.
Yeah, and I was friends with all of them.
Did they ever try and get a hold of you and say, hey, come with us?
Oh, absolutely, and.
I mean, for beating people up. It's like, do it for us for money.
But that was no lifestyle. Why don't I knew them all. I hung out with a lot of knuckleheads.
Why didn't? What do you think kept you away from doing that? Because I'm sure you have a lot of friends who got made eventually and became.
You know
went
what?
that life.
I had my mom was my hero.
Okay.
My mom, my sister, and they were just such great people.
Okay.
That I could never lose sight of. Going down that road, even though I was a knucklehead.
You didn't want to disappoint them and go all the way with it.
Yeah, I could not. I could never. I used to think of what would my mom do if I ever went to jail.
Yeah.
And
it'd break her heart, and you don't want to do that.
Heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I broke her heart enough with my own stupidity.
Yeah, I've done enough dumb shit. I didn't make it 10 times worse.
As we know, I'm sober today, so that speaks for itself.
So did you end up finishing school, and what did you get into after that? Because I know you had to battle with.
I just ran the streets for a while, and that was a lot of craziness, just nuttiness, man. It was just it was a life that I'm not proud of.
And how long were you into the drinking and the drugs? That was a big part for sure.
I did that most of I had a lot of pain, a lot of issues that I never dealt with.
Okay.
And I dealt with them later on in life, which.
How old were you when you started to resolve them and spend time?
My first time trying to get sober was 38, and then I continued, kept fighting it, battling, struggling.
Yeah.
And I finally got sober.
And what got you over the hump? Did you start going to therapy
doing my
at
step
double
work.
A? Oh,
no, doing my step. I go to therapy now.
Okay.
But, doing those 12 steps is, I don't want to get into the whole
all the steps.
AA thing, and I don't want to get into all that. But
no,
that's what changed my life.
Yeah, I'm always just curious as to how people get sober. Because I know some people that white knuckled, some people that got into, but I know a lot of people that started with the 12 stepping, and not to say that they're religious or this or that. It's like somewhere to go for the meetings. So somewhere to go where you're not drinking.
Just a bunch of people that don't want to drink.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
People can say whatever they want. Who cares? I'm not drinking today because of those great people.
Yeah.
God of my understanding and the great people of AA that just keeps me from drinking. I still go to meetings.
And is that why you? Because I know now you like to help a lot of guys and gals out of it.
Love helping people. I live for that. That's my number one priority: helping other people, that they don't have to live that way.
Yeah.
And
I mean, does it ever eat? Because I'm sure you can't save everybody. Does that ever eat at you?
I speak at prisons sometimes.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I go to everybody deserves a second chance, third chance. I had 35, 40, 50 chances, whatever I got, But one of the places I speak in is Rikers Island, who I used to until Bill de Blasio came along and decided.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that clown. Anyway. I was coming out of Rikers one night, and I said to my sponsor, we'll call him Bob. His name is Bob, but I don't want to give his last name.
Yeah, of course. It's anonymous.
So I said to Bob, hey, Bobby, do you think we help anybody when we come here? Because people seem like they're gone. Yeah. And he says, let me ask you this. Did you drink today? And I said,
wow.
No, I didn't drink today. And he said, did it help you? I said, yeah. He said, that's all that matters.
That's so fucking wise. 'Cause I mean, like, that's a big part. I was saying this with a recent guest. They've proven that 4 things generally help your overall sense of wellness. You know, exercise, journaling, therapy, and acts of gratitude and giving back.
Absolutely.
And that and yeah, like you know, even if you reach one person in 10 years, that's one more than would have happened.
Exactly.
But during those 10 years, you feel better.
Exactly.
You feel better about yourself. You're doing the right thing.
About
you know?
Yourself. Absolutely.
That's fucking brilliant. I never thought about it like that.
You nailed it. You know, we clean house. We take responsibility for ourselves. And when we clean up ourselves, we don't, like, hey, Randy did this, so I did this. No, Randy has nothing to do with my stupidity. Yeah. I got to eliminate all the people that I blamed, and I only got to look at my part.
Yeah, there's not enough of that, I feel like. People don't, it's weird, like everyone likes to accuse other people. But if you spent 10% of that time making yourself a better person, and if everybody did that, how much better off would we be? You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of pointing the finger, which brings me back to, you know, not to get too into politics, but just more into a cultural thing. You're talking about, you know, everyone deserves a second, third, 35th chance like you. I feel like we live in an age where, you know, I hate the term cancel culture, it's fucking overused, but the idea that you don't give someone the benefit of the doubt that they made an honest mistake, that people are just looking to fucking bury someone the first time they, you know, say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, make an inappropriate joke. And I feel like that empathy is just fucking lost. Like, people forget how flawed we all are.
We all,
you know. So like, oh look, he said that, you know, he used, you know, an outdated term, fucking end his career. It's like, well, he fucked up, or maybe like, you know, like he used, you know, Caitlyn Jenner's wrong name. It's like, well, she just transitioned. How the fuck? You know, give him a week to get the name right. Like, there's no level of forgiveness anymore. You know, there's no empathy out there.
I asked the guy to keep it down in the club recently. It's very loud.
Yeah,
obnoxious.
Comedy club.
Carrying on. And you know, you're a stand-up comic. And you know, the hecklers, they think they're part of the show. You're not part of the...
Yeah, I'm helping.
Heckler, you're not helping comedians. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Let that be known, you're an idiot. So I asked the guy to keep it down. He told me, and he said, you're just saying that because I'm non-binary.
What? Also, how would you know that?
Thank you. I said,
like, I don't know anything about you.
What are you talking about?
I don't know anything about you, bud.
I don't know what that means.
I just know you're talking in the middle of a live show. Shut the fuck up.
Bitcoin shit.
You thought it was the new crypto? Yeah, how do I get some non-binary tokens? Trying to get rich.
I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And then they explained to me later what.
But also, the idea that because so if you put that in reverse, that individual thinks they could talk in the middle of a live performance because they're non-binary. It's like, you don't get special. No one talks at a live performance. Think about that. Have you ever been to a fucking stage play on Broadway and start talking in the middle of it? Why is comedy the only place where you can just fucking shout at the guy working?
Yell shit out. It's amazing.
You only say that because I'm non-binary. It's like, the lights are dark. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
We had an incident within the last couple of months, and TJ
Miller, fucking very funny.
Tennille Joachim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, TJ.
Okay.
He's a black comic.
Yeah,
Haitian,
opener.
Great guy, great. Dear friend of mine, love him. Is performing, and we had Indian husband and wife yelling. Well, the guy was yelling stuff
at the stage while he's
TJ,
performing.
While he's performing, and TJ's telling him to stop. The Dominican bouncer comes over and says, "Keep it down. Keep it down. F you. I'm not keeping it down." Back and forth. I can do what I want. They get taken out of the club, and she was outside. Black comic, Indian couple, Dominican bouncer, and she's outside screaming racism. Can't make this up. Can't make it up. She started screaming Trayvon Martin.
An Indian woman?
Yeah.
What are the rules on that? Let's go to the fucking peanut gallery out here. Can you, if you're Indian, can you claim racism Like, can you claim Black Lives Matter as an Indian person? I don't think.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. My previous guesses of that. I don't know. Yeah, what are the rules on that?
I don't know, but all I know is I don't think it had nothing to do with nothing except that you're an idiot yelling at a comic trying to do his job. That's it.
Yeah.
Very simple. Then it became she wanted to make this and TJ wrote a great. I got it on my phone.
Yeah,
I'll show it to you later. It's hilarious.
I think a lot of it now is, it's sort of like people wave shit around like that gender race as like a get out of jail free card. You know, like, oh, it's only because of this. Like, no, like your ethnicity, your culture, your race, your gender, your sexuality doesn't excuse bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, you know, it's because I'm this. Like, no, it's because you're acting like a jerk.
Because you're a jerk.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
It's weird. And also, to be fair, too, like the idea that, I mean, we've learned this with the LA City Council. I don't know if you heard what happened out here, but the president of the LA City Council is a Mexican lady, or the former president. She got resigned over this, but she made like a bunch of disparaging remarks about Jewish and black people, like on a hot mic that she didn't know was hot. And like some people like like, oh, you know, Spanish people can be racist. Like everybody can act like a fucking
when you
asshole.
Hate somebody's race.
Yeah, there's no monopoly on, you know, being an asshole. Like it's like, oh, you know, only white people. No, people are fucking shitty people, and they need to get their hands slapped like everybody else who acts like an asshole.
Exactly, I agree with you 100%. You know,
and that's a weird thing about New York that I actually kind of love. It's still that way. New York is like the most diverse place in the world. You know that. But fucking, there is an element of everyone is aware of the racial differences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know this. You know, I'm Dominican, and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans have a weird relationship.
And I'm part Dominican.
Yeah. Because you have sex with a bunch of
always in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, Billy. For those that don't know, Billy likes Latin women. He dates almost exclusively Latin chicks. He's like Robert De Niro, but with Latin chicks.
I'm going October 30th. I'm on the way.
Going back?
I'm going back, baby.
Is this the same gal or a different one?
Well, I'm looking for my wife.
I'm going for the next one.
My wife of the month. Listen, wife of the month club. I love the Dominican Republic.
No, but
it's such a beautiful place.
It is, and beautiful women. But that's the thing. Like, New York is full of all these different races. Of course, they're not going to get along all the time because you're on top of each other. But it doesn't give you an excuse to act like an asshole. You know, like.
But if you think about it, most of us still get along.
Dude, I was talking about that with Jeff. It really is a miracle, considering how diverse the U.S. is, New York and the rest of the country, how many different fucking wants and needs each group and each individual has. And somehow, for the most part, day to day, we get along all right.
We get along great.
I drove over here with no problem. The stoplights worked. You know, people were obeying traffic laws. I got my coffee. You know, there was no issue. That, like, most of the time, it's perfectly fucking fine.
Exactly.
You know?
I agree. It's
and it's almost like we take it for granted. Like by pointing out the little things, it's like, wait a minute. Most of the time, yeah, of course you want to chastise people who act inappropriately, say something stupid or bigoted. But most of the, like, we just take for granted that most of the time it's fine. Yeah, like things are mostly fine.
Most of the time, everything's fine. Like, you and I have been around the most diverse people in our business.
With 30 years.
For 30 years, exactly. And we get along great. I can't name 2 comics that I don't get along with.
Yeah. You know? Well, that's surprising because comics are typically fucking crazy.
Well, they usually treat me with respect.
Yeah.
You've
been around the block a few times.
They most of them know who I am.
Word got around.
Most of them know. But I'm not like that anymore. But
when was the last time you had to bust somebody in the head? I mean, I'm sure you had to drag somebody out of Gotham at some point.
Well, yeah. I know, but I don't want to.
Yeah, okay.
I can't. It's Chris Mazzilli's club.
All right, and we're back. I had to cut out a piece there. Billy's had some issues.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So how come? Would you get back out on the road doing road? Because I know you used to travel with Jay Moore for a little while, right?
I was out on the road with Jay Moore.
Do you like going on the road?
I used to. I
love it. In my youth,
I love going on the road with Chrissy and Colin. Now it's like fun. That's fun. It's like.
Yeah. How often is Colin being asked to start Tough Crowd back up?
Colin I think he gets that
every fucking day. Every day. I don't know.
How great was that show?
It was fantastic. I don't know why he just doesn't do it on YouTube.
Let me tell you, there's a show Colin did that I don't know if you ever seen it.
What's it called?
A lot of people have it. It's called Cop Show. Did you ever watch it?
Oh, I've heard about this. I haven't seen it. No, I've heard about this. I'm going to check it out now.
So
I completely forgot about it.
hilarious.
I forgot he released that on the internet. Who else was it? There was a bunch of comics in that, right?
Hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Rock is in
Yeah.
it. Jerry Seinfeld's in it. Jim Gaffigan's in it.
And it's just a bunch.
Jimmy Norton's in it.
Oh, Jim Norton.
It's
Guys are all legends.
Star-studded. It's just star after star after star.
Yeah. You want to get in front of the camera ever? You're a good-looking guy.
I've done movies, television, but did radio. But
Radio? When did you do radio?
Opie and Anthony. I used to.
Used to go on O&A?
I used to go
Oh
on
my
O&A
God,
with
I'm
them
so jealous.
lunatics. Yeah.
The
Anthony, great guy.
lunatics.
That was a lot of fun back then. It was back when they were on NEW. It was.
That's pretty wild that those guys were on broadcast radio.
Oh, it was
like
crazy.
like having heard all this shit since Sirius, like how would they ever make it on broadcast?
Oh, they were.
You know, I mean, they
crazy.
must have gotten fucking shut off every week.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
got
pretty
in a lot
much.
of trouble.
Yeah, 3 weeks out of the month they were pulled from the air.
They were constantly in trouble, but they would. You know what? They were having fun and they were doing what they wanted to do. You know. and they were under the old. If you don't like it, change the channel. You know.
I've never understood why that people don't just fall back. Like people bitch and moan. I get in trouble all the time on the internet for jokes I post and shit like
Yeah,
that.
right.
And I don't understand why. Like,
But they are funny.
thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, but it rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah, some
but
people
what I don't get is
sensitive.
people taking the time to report me and like. Have you ever complained to the manager? Like, I would not waste the time writing to Instagram. This offended me. I would just keep scrolling. Like, it's bizarre to me that people take time out of their day to report me. It's like if you don't like it, just fucking move on.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
But instead,
Just move on.
instead, take 10 minutes of your day to report me. It's like, what? Don't you have better things to do? I could jerk off twice in 10 minutes. I could do more productive things than report people on Instagram.
Yeah,
It's bizarre.
Exactly.
What's the craziest road story you got? And you don't have to no names, of course.
Well,
No, I'll rat 'em out. Fuck 'em.
As far as funny is concerned,
Yeah.
as funny was that when I was with you that weekend.
Oh my god.
That weekend was insane. That was where Chrissy, we wanted to go eat.
Yeah.
Chrissy did 3 shows. Remember he
Yeah.
had that 5 o'clock show?
Yeah, they had like a nooner.
At,
Yeah.
where were we at?
Saturday. It's Laugh Boston.
Laugh Boston. And Chrissy had a 5, blah, blah, next
Yeah,
show.
5,
After
7,
he
9.
did that second show and into the third show, we said, I'm starving. So we went to Gronkowski's restaurant.
Okay.
I forgot to.
Yeah, it's in the South.
And we went to his place, and the guy, I knew the maitre d' over there, he got us in, but whoa, we got in, we ate. But when we came back, there was an Asian guy, older guy, and he was listening to sports radio, and they were talking about Johnny Bench, and that's where Johnny Bench, dude. And then Chrissy starts singing it in the back, and it just became a whole song. And then we were crying. We go back in,
And then Chris Stefano made the crowd
Chris
sing.
goes up on a stage and changed it to Billy Hayes.
Loves the cock. So now every time Billy texts me, he puts a little chicken head at the end of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Little cock.
The little cock. I'm a white guy.
One of my friends, she sends me a text. She says, I got to ask you a dumb question. Why do you always send me chickens?
Because I want you to suck the cock.
Oh, so
Never
funny.
married, Billy? Never married, no kids?
No marriage, no kids. No.
Have you ever come close?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. You said that, of course.
Yeah.
How many times you got close?
Once.
An abortion or the marriage?
Yeah, but I was just so not ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so not ready.
How long ago was this?
Long time ago.
Long time.
And then my life started to go this way instead of,
All right, but it's on the up and up now.
now it's.
Would you get
I'm
married
living
now?
A dream.
You think?
Would I get married now? For what? For what? So I can die with somebody? Ooh. Fucking have Colin Quinn, Chrissy D come in, sweep it up, get out.
Sweep it up.
My cousin Joe come in and just say, get rid of his crap, throw it out, burn him, and move on.
Get rid of his crap.
That's it. But
Do any of these Dominican girls ever pressure you, though? Because, I mean, I'm sure they want to stay.
yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's.
What is it about Latin women that you love so much?
I don't know.
Was it always that way growing up?
Always. My first,
because that was not typical back in the 70s, right? I mean, oddly enough, everybody was supposed to stay with their own back then.
My first girlfriend was the greatest girl. That's like, she was it, you know? And I was just such a douchebag.
And how old were you?
I couldn't get out of my own way. We were 17, 18. 19.
And what was she, Puerto Rican, Dominican?
She was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And she was just a wonderful, I would say a name, but I don't want to. She's married. Yeah, I don't want to.
We don't name names on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to bring that up. But she was just a great, great person. But looking back, I can see what a wonderful person she was, but what an idiot I was.
Well, I mean, when you're 17, 18, 19, especially as a guy, I mean, you're a fucking dope.
Dopey motherfucker.
I mean, I'm fucking pushing 40. I still don't know my ass from my elbow.
Yeah.
Can't get my shit together.
Believe me, I have my days. Look around my friends. Look who I hang out with. You know, but my friends are the best. You know that. You know how great those guys are. They're just great, great people. Man.
Is it weird though working with comics? Is there so much? I mean, you know, you're not old, but you're older than most of the comics workers.
But they don't care. They just
no. I'm saying they don't care. But how do you see? Like, how do you feel about the younger generation? Because a lot of baby boomers bitch and moan about millennials, and you seem to enjoy the company of younger people.
I enjoy the guys, Ricky Velez,
fucking killer.
Jared Freed. These guys are great, great human beings, man. They're just great guys, and Chrissy, of course, and you, and I have a blast with you guys. You know, I'm 20 years older than you guys, but we have a friggin' blast
keeping
every
you young.
time. We have it's fun, you know. But I keep it TJ. TJ's another guy I have a blast with every time. But we keep it keep it small, you know. I don't.
You're not going to the club anymore?
I do. I go to Gotham?
No, like the fucking like a nightclub.
Yeah, I haven't been fucking things in fucking 20, 30 years, 50 years. Man, I can't tell you the last time I was in a bar. God. I mean, if I was, it was because I had to be there for a reason, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I would go to a wedding. Anytime I'm around, I can't be around alcohol. I refuse to be. Like tonight when we go to dinner, there's a bar in the place, but I'm not there for the bar. I'm there for the food. And we get in, we get out.
You've hung out with me at the bar next to the...
Yeah,
Gotham before, but we're hanging. Standing around.
You were in town.
Yeah,
got to hang out with you. Got to hang out with Jeff, and then you know,
you wouldn't be there otherwise.
Right, I wouldn't. Of course not. I mean, people I work with, they go out every night, and they say, "How come you don't want to come? How come you don't come?"
What the fuck am I going to do out there?
Not for me. Have a nice night. Enjoy yourself. See you tomorrow.
What era are you going clubbing in though? Was this like the? Is it back
back
Studio 54? What do we got? Like what years we talking about here?
Back in Brooklyn, we had. Night Gallery was on 86th and 18th in Brooklyn. There was what were they?
Was you like Space Odyssey? Was that still
Space Odyssey was on 64th Street, I think, and that was where they 2001 Odyssey is where they did Saturday Night Fever. That was
Jeff Dye had never seen that movie, and we watched some of it on the road. He was howling like, "Is this how people talked in the 70s?" And I guess,
we were discussing that at dinner last night, and. I think it was Chris Calderino who said that, whoever he was telling was, or maybe it was Terry, was saying that they were saying, do you realize that movie makes people from Brooklyn look like idiots?
Oh my God, dude. Animals, dude. Animals.
Absolutely. But we were so into that movie when we were teenagers.
Well, that's what Jeff couldn't believe. He's like, this was a hit. I'm like, this broke John Travolta. This put him on the map.
The movie.
It was it. He's like, I mean, it's just, he's like, dude, it's like, I can't believe they ever released this. Like, just, homophobia, racism, misogyny, fucking horrible jokes, violence. Fucking guy kills himself in the middle of it. Guy jumps off a bridge and Jeff's like, this is a smash movie. I'm like, oh, this was a big hit.
He was quite the philosopher, John Travolta. He had one of the greatest lines in that when he said, "There's ways of killing yourself without killing yourself."
Oh yeah, that's a good line in that
that's
movie.
That's a great line.
My favorite line in that movie is when he jams his finger getting in the car and he's like, "Oh, I think I broke my pussy finger."
Oh my God!
That and when he's eating pasta with his family on Sunday, he's got the extra tablecloth around himself, and his father smacks him in the head. He's like, "Why you got to do that? I work hard on my hair." And then he hits it. He hits my hair. Hits his hair.
That was great. That was the typical Brooklyn family. That was
just abuse.
Huge. dysfunction. We didn't come from dysfunctional families. We came from a dysfunctional neighborhood.
Yeah, it was just a weird society. Like that was just accepted. Like that back then, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, smacking a kid up and fucking blaming women for, you know, getting harassed in the streets. Like, oh, you shouldn't dress like that.
Well, you
Like,
shouldn't dress
what?
like that. Like when Colin gets, Colin always tells stories about him getting harassed by women sexually. You know, all in fun.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what?
All in fun.
Because you know it's not true.
Yeah.
And I used to say to him, when he would say that, I would go, what were you wearing? He's so funny. And we, you know, he mentioned something about Brooklyn. You know, we were talking, and he said Brooklyn was not a place. Brooklyn was a personality.
Yeah.
And that describes it, man. Back, you know, unless you lived in that era in Brooklyn, you could never, like, you could write a Brooklyn script. Like,
And not get the feel of it, unless you were there.
You send it out to, you know, use protocol to send out your script, and
Yeah.
somebody from the Midwest reads it and says, "Oh, this is," they don't understand it.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I think it's weird too because there's an old saying that I like is that you know, I forget some Eastern philosophy bullshit, but it's like you can never really go home, meaning like the place where you were born, you grew up in Brooklyn, you know, but it's never going to be like it was in 1979 when you were coming up, or 82. Like
That
it just
will never return.
The physical place is there, but that atmosphere is
Never
long
return.
gone, and
It's
people can't
long
understand
gone.
it.
You know, and little thing we're working on now is how that ended. That's you know, I don't want to get into the details of it, but
because kind of how the change occurred.
the end of Brooklyn,
Yeah. What do you miss most about that? Like the 80s?
the camaraderie that's gone.
You think
know,
so?
The stickball in the street, game of Skelly in the street.
Yeah.
You know, the playing games. You know, the running around. Like everybody knew each other. Like I knew guys like Chris and Terrence lived on 37th Street.
Yeah.
I lived on 35th over here, and I knew people on Ryder Street. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I think
we all knew each other.
it was a real community. I mean,
Exactly.
I haven't had that when I was a kid. I remember in the summertime we'd sit on the stoop at night. You know, and you just you just sit out all night. Everyone sat out all night on the
That's
stoop.
gone.
Yeah,
That's gone.
Now it's like,
And-
oh, you know, let's create a virtual space, a community online. It's like, well, why not just meet the people in your actual fucking community that
Exactly.
you live around? You know.
I don't know 3 people that live on my block.
Oh my God! Now if you came to my door unannounced, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're like,
Exactly.
what are you nuts? Like,
Like I have, you know,
yeah, fucking
I got
dozens
a
of
whole bunch
apartments.
of people. I don't know any of them. I walked out. Hello, how you doing? Keep
They
going.
think you're like, why are you waving at me, creep?
Yeah. I mean, even in Brooklyn, like sometimes they say, "Hey, fuck you." That's like a good morning in back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that will never come back.
Yeah.
That's gone.
That's another thing
history.
too. You don't see kids playing on the street anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's gone.
Yeah,
it's
man.
gone. The
I
stick
remember-
ball in the street, gone.
I remember when I was living in Boston, and Boston's very similar to New York. I was, in the South End, and there was beautiful 4 full basketball courts. You know, and when I was growing up, I mean, you had to wait in line to get a game of basketball going, a pickup game at the park. Not a fucking one of these hoops was being used. And I was like, when I was a kid, man, we'd wait all day to
All
get on
day
the
long.
basketball court to get a game in because there was other kids ahead of you. And it's just like, where the fuck are all the kids? They just what are they doing?
We had some ridiculous athletes
Oh,
out of
I
Marine
bet.
Park. Ridiculous. Chris Mullen was from Marine
That's
Park.
right, dude. Chris Mullen.
Chris was insane.
One of the crazy. I don't know if for the listeners out there, go Google Chris Mullen. Just look at a picture of him, and then YouTube him and listen to him talk. It's like that. His voice doesn't match that fucking state trooper head that he's got
Let me
at
tell
all.
you
It's
something.
crazy.
You watch. Nobody sees this, but you go online and just punch in Chris Mullen trick shot.
Okay.
It's the people from ESPN in Bristol. All the people that work
Yeah,
for the
the
station.
employees.
They're all in the parking lot doing trick shots.
On a hoop, yeah.
Yeah, on the hoop, bouncing the ball, trying to get it in the hoop. So then somebody's trying to bang it off a wall, go in. Chris Mullen pulls up in his car. He comes out in his jacket and his suit.
Yeah.
You know, he's wearing a suit tie, going to do this thing. And somebody said, "Chris, give it a shot. Give it a shot." He looks at the basket. He looks at the wall and goes, bounces it off the wall, bing, bang,
dropped it. One shot.
One shot.
Yeah, dude, he was a fucking. I remember him. He was like a lights out 3-point shooter.
Insane.
Lights out. But like I said, the crazy thing to me was like he looked. Like I said, he looked like he had like a state trooper's haircut. The fucking high. He looked like Sergeant Slaughter.
Tight.
Yeah, and then he talks and he sounds like a hip hop star. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. It looks like, wait a minute. It doesn't match.
He's a good dude.
It's kind of like Kirby Puckett in reverse.
He was a good dude. He is a good dude. He was. His brother just passed away. His brother was my teammate for years.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, his brother Rob.
Is he a Marine Park guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's a Marine
Okay, because
Park
we went
guy.
to St. John's out there.
Great athlete. His brother was a ridiculous baseball player. His brother was great. Just great family. The whole family. Yeah. John Terrence, Chris, Roddy.
What sport were you best at? Because you played a bunch.
Fighting and baseball.
Fighting and
football. I was decent in football too.
Do you think you could have made it in baseball?
In my own mind, yeah.
I love the honesty of that.
I should have been fucking batting right behind Hank Aaron. What do you mean? But in reality,
no.
I was a decent hitter, but I didn't know when you're in high school or early college, you don't realize how many guys do not make the major leagues.
Yeah. You know? In some ways, though, that delusion is helpful. Like you have to believe the impossible a little bit to make a dream like that come true.
You have to believe.
Yeah.
John Franco played with us. John was
fucking lights
John
out.
was insane.
Closer.
He was insane. And he's another Brooklyn guy with a great attitude. Funny, just funny dude.
Oh, no shit.
He was another good dude. Joe Torre's from Marine Park. John's not from Marine Park. John was from Bensonhurst. But Joe Torre was from Marine Park. Dice Clay, of course.
Okay.
I drove you by his house one
That's
night
right.
when we were
That's
in there.
right. Dude, back in the day like that, was it like fucking like gangs in New York? Like used to the Marine Park guys would roll over to Bensonhurst and just knuckle down in the park?
Yeah,
it was like fucking, was it like fucking West Side Story?
Kelly Park, Kelly Park was like the next, those guys were a bunch of douches.
Bunch of pussies they were.
Yeah, I got a good gangster story for that.
Let's hear it.
I coming back from the store down my block, I was a teenager. And cars just pull up, guys jump around, they all get around me. And all of them got bats in their hands.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, is this the guy? Is this the guy? And
is this the
I'm like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
What the beef was about?
House. Yeah, I had no idea what they were talking about. So the guy says, I hit him in the arm. Check his arm. So the guy pulls my arm out, and there's 12 people there.
Yeah.
12 people around me.
Fucking.
And they pull my arm out, and he goes, no, he's got no marks on his arm. He says, fuck him. And the guy hits me over the head with a bat.
Holy shit, dude.
And I just put my elbows out, and I just ran. If I fell, I was dead.
Yeah.
I just ran, and I knocked the crowd out of the way. The guys that were in front of me, I knocked them out of the way. They were swinging, taking shots at me. And I got away. Now, the next day, one of the wise guys in the neighborhood, I don't want to give up his name. He was a pretty popular dude.
He's still got some fucking pull on the street. I ain't fucking around.
He's well known in the FBI.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name or I'm going to get put on a watch list.
Exactly. But he grabs me and he says, what happened? And I told him what happened. I said, I don't know. And he says, who was it? And I said, I heard it's the guys from Kelly Park. And he says, get in the car. We go over there, and this guy's an older guy.
Yeah, but everybody knows who he is. Yeah. He isn't going to lift a finger to scare the shit out of people.
Everybody knows who he is, and he's still known today. And he pulls into this park, and he goes up to these guys. He says, any of you mother effers come in here and you see this kid, you fucking get on your knees and you fucking bow down to this motherfucker. I don't want to see any of you people come near this kid. Are we understood? And one guy said something. He pulls out and says, are we understood?
Oh, no, he pulled a gun
on. And I was like, oh, my God. And they all went, understood.
Yeah.
They understood. And the guy put me back in the car, and I was like, don't shoot me.
I know. There is something to be said, though, about having mobsters in there, but they do run a tight ship in their own community.
The neighborhood.
Nothing happens. There's no crime near them. Like all the crimes happen elsewhere.
Yes.
Yes. You go do that fucking somewhere else,
you
not
bring
here.
That elsewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't bring that here. And that's why, you know, Rudy Giuliani, who I liked as mayor of New York, he was went a little crazy.
Oh, lately, yeah. Now he's like fucking Nosferatu with his fucking dyed hair. But you know, age gets to everybody.
But he
locked all those guys up.
He made the mob his pet peeve, his project. You know, I'm going to take.
I mean, that's how he got famous.
And a lot of stuff that happens today would not happen.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people like, yeah, it was after, you know, it was like the mid '90s when New York was at its worst in terms of the crime rate, and the difference was like people got shot in the '80s. But it was never someone who wasn't supposed to get shot. You know, like there was drive-by shootings in the 90s. In the 80s, it was 2 pills in the back of the ear and nobody saw that person again. You know, like it was somebody just disappeared. No one was shot by accident. You didn't hear about a kid getting caught in the crossfire in 1984. Yeah, there was none of that.
84, but you got that later on. You got that.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to get a little crazy.
What family ran Marine Park back then when you were there? The family. You don't have to say the name of the guy.
There was multiples.
Oh, it was a shared territory.
It was. I can't say.
Okay, let's not get you in trouble.
I know these people. I don't.
Yeah, well, dude, a lot of them are getting out. I don't know if you noticed, man, but a lot of the guys who got locked up in the 80s, you know, they get 20, 30 years RICO sentences. Yeah. They're all getting out now. They'll have a fucking podcast. I mean, every one of these guys on a podcast.
They all get
and I'm sure you know some of these guys, the John A. Lights of the world. You know, these guys, I'm sure you're familiar with.
I'm familiar with all of them. It was a crazy time, man. It was a crazy time.
Do you miss the music? I miss the music of the 70s.
The music, 70s. Oh, music. That was the best. It was man. I went to Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation dinner with
nice.
Joe and Derek Jeter, and I was sitting with Jeter.
Took a pass at his girlfriend, didn't work out.
And who was he with then?
Who cares? I'm sure she was hot.
Yeah, I think he was with. She wasn't with
Hannah Minka Kelly back then?
Minka Kelly.
Okay.
That was her name, yes. But she wasn't there then. I think he just got rid of her.
He just had some other girl.
Yeah.
Some other 22-year-old.
He was a good dude. But anyway, Garth Brooks played that night. And Garth Brooks played, and he played 70s stuff. And he said, this is the greatest music era ever.
Garth Brooks covering the 70s. That'd be interesting to hear, dude.
It was really...
That'd be interesting to hear.
I don't know.
You're not a country music guy, yeah.
I mean, I like Jason Aldean.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have pegged you for a Jason Aldean fan.
Well,
Who else do you like? Ruben Studdard?
Clay Jason Aldean and my cousin are buddies. You know, they work together. And
okay. OnlyFans, that kind of work.
No. My cousins.
You just get a straight job?
My cousin's so humble. Such a great guy, my cousin Joe. He's the best. But he never admits to being related to me, but he's still a great guy.
I don't blame him.
He's still a great guy.
All right,
his father and my mother were brother and sister. His father died when he was 30.
Wait a minute. His father and your mother?
My mother and his father.
I thought you said his father and my father and mother were brother and sister. I'm like, that makes him your uncle. That's incest. I got confused there.
Some kind of incestual.
Like, what are you in the fucking royal family over here?
Yeah. But he's just a great guy. So he's with Jason. I like punching Jason Aldean.
Oh, I know who he is, dude. I mean, country. There's a sneaky tip for the single fellas out there. If you want to meet chicks, go to a country music concert or festival. Man. It's wall to wall.
Yeah,
chicks, they love the country music.
Jason Aldean and country music.
Little booty shorts and boots. I'm with it.
The guys I like is what's the other guy? Another popular Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
Yeah,
Kenny Chesney.
Rah. Veterans.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran of this great nation.
That's right. What service were you in?
The only branch, the Army.
The only, okay. You're
the only
well, at least you weren't in the fucking Air Force. Apparently, those are the biggest. I've heard from people in the service that they sort of envy and look down at the Air Force the most because it's like the cushiest one you can go into, but they think they're kind of pussies about it.
Well,
is that right?
I'm going to give you my take.
All right.
When I was in the Army, I was like, yeah, rah, fuck everybody, right? The Marines would say, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
If I could do it all over again, Air Force, Air Force, Air Force. The best looking women in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Man, I used to go down to Shepherd's Air Force Base in Texas, and they were just phenomenal. It was like, Oh my gosh, this is insane.
I'd like you to join the military to meet a woman. That's got to be the most backwards way to do it. Most guys are like, oh, I'll sign up for dance classes or take a yoga class. But like, no, I want to go with mostly dudes.
I'm friends with a colonel, a retired colonel, and just so people get a better understanding. We all break each other's balls.
Yeah.
Every branch of the service, but the camaraderie is always there. When somebody's under attack, and
you stick up for each other.
Nobody ever says, "Oh, fuck, here comes the Air Force to save our ass." Fuck that. Send in the Navy. Send in the Marines.
You have someone to bail you out.
Exactly. Nobody ever questions who's coming to save your ass at that point. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we all know we need each other.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
That's absolutely true.
That is the truth.
All right, we're getting close to the end here. I wanted to hit up some news stories, and it's from our hometown paper, the New York Post. That's where I get all my facts. Because I'm a fucking idiot. So I saw this, and I wanted to get your take. So artificial intelligence guesses what the Kardashians would look like without plastic surgery. So apparently somebody invented an AI that somehow reconstructs what the Kardashian family would look like without having had all the work they've done. And so far this, they posted on TikTok. It's got over 2.5 million views already. I could post a picture, but I wanted to ask you, what do you think the Kardashians would look like without surgery?
Just without surgery, they would just look like melted marshmallow in their face.
You know what I said? I said they'd look like Bruce Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
Because half of them, he was their dad.
Yes.
And I'm not dead naming Caitlyn because Bruce Jenner fathered those kids. When he was Bruce, he fathered those kids.
That's right.
So I would think they would look like what Bruce Jenner looked like. Because God knows what Kris looks like. Kris Kardashian, I feel like she's had surgery for the last 50 years ago. So no, even her family doesn't know what the fuck. Her parents forgot what she looks like. But I think they would look like Kris.
Yeah.
Who do you think's the hottest Kardashian of the ladies? Or Rob? I don't want to assume your sexuality.
Yeah. Yeah, Dominican Republic knows my.
Yeah, exactly. Which of the sisters do you think is the most attractive?
You know what? I pay zero attention to all of them. I could care less. I mean, but
I feel like Kim.
I don't know. Doesn't OJ have one of them? Isn't one of them OJ?
I think he used to. Well, there's a rumor that OJ was fucking Kris Kardashian, the mom,
right?
And that Khloe is their daughter.
Oh, that's
there's a rumor going on around about that because she looks most unlike the rest of the family.
I heard some type of rumor like that.
But I think I'm partial to the older sister, Kourtney. I think she's the catch of the lot. She seems the least crazy.
I wouldn't even know her if she was sitting next to me.
I mean, you think she was attractive, though? I bet. I would say she looks the most ethnic.
The only one I would really know is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
is that her name?
Yeah, that's the big one.
She's the only one that I would maybe recognize, and I might not even recognize.
How do you avoid all the pop culture shit?
Because I have enough stupidity that I create myself. I don't need somebody else's stupidity.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so hard to actually avoid getting sucked into pop culture references because it's just everywhere. It's ubiquitous. If you're not using social media a lot, you can kind of avoid it. But you have to avoid TV, social media, and the radio. And there's always something coming at you.
I just keep when I see them, I just keep going. I can't even. It's just like ugh. Yuck.
Yeah.
Makes me want to vomit.
You're just watching old reruns of fucking of the Green Hornet.
You know what I watch? What do I watch on TV? Mostly
porn.
Love my Jets.
Mostly porn.
Love my Jets. I like midget porn. Can you say that? Is that?
I think it's little people porn.
Is it little people porn? Is that
yeah. Is it? I don't even know what it is. Midget porn.
Neither do I, but it sounds funny.
The Jets. Oh my God,
Jets.
They disappoint me every year.
I don't really watch. I watch a lot of sometimes I watch reruns.
Yeah. What are your faves? Because I like the old reruns.
I like Jag. I like Jag. I watch that. Sometimes I watch Walker, Texas Ranger. I'll watch
oh my God,
Home Improvement. I'll watch King of Queens. I watch Seinfeld.
Oh, okay, so you're not going too far back. You're not going back to like Sanford and Son.
No, I didn't watch that shit. Sanford and Son or
All in the Family.
All in the Family. I don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love Red Fox. I thought he was a comic genius. You know, I would watch a little bit. Archie Bunker, you had to watch because that was on in your house all the time.
Yeah. Dude, you know what I was partial? I'm still partial to Three's Company.
I never liked that show.
Really?
Yeah, I never liked it.
Dude, I thought it was fucking cutting edge for its time. For a guy to pretend to be gay to live with two women.
Yeah.
It was a good premise for like 1975, dude. I mean, it had good jokes in it. I thought.
Yeah, but if it was 3 guys, I probably would have watched.
If he was actually sucking his roommate's cocks, I would have been into it. Yeah, what is this half measure faking to be gay? Be gay all the way.
At Chrissy D, every time I see stupid, the first guy I think of is Chris DiStefano. Hilarious. It's once that stupidity, once him and I get into stupidity, it just.
I mean, I love what he and Giannis, with history hyenas, but just the whole way Chris and they both seem to navigate a great way to stay above getting in trouble by being over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so over the top that they know it's satire. Yeah. So they're not getting fucking hung up for it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
And it's amazing we're able to do that. Like it's because it's so fucking hard to like thread the needle these days.
Oh, you can't. It's what you know. What I think now people are starting to see through.
Yeah.
The nonsense. You know. Hey, look, you want to tell comics not to be creative and not to do what you don't like them to do, then you're censoring them. And if you're going to start censoring comics, let's go communist.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have a First Amendment. We can't have freedom of speech no more.
Well, it's also what troubles me about it is it's as if people act as if they've never made a mistake. You know, it's like, oh, they're looking for the gotcha. It's like, whoa, you fucking, you want to dig into your closet and every fucking stupid thing you've ever said, like
make it fair across the board.
Yeah,
make it fair across the board. You know, if somebody does it over here and somebody. You can't say it's okay for somebody to do it and it's not okay for this person to do it. That's unfair.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're supposed to be fighting for.
Yeah.
Not again. You're supposed to be fighting that everybody gets equal.
Yeah.
And you're taking away the equality by saying you're
playing favorites. You're playing favorites with the message. And frankly, I think like if you say something stupid, people will stop fucking around with you. Like right. It's a self-regulating thing. Like if you say some dumb, ignorant shit, no one will want to work with you anymore. You don't need to cancel somebody. People are like, I don't like that guy. That guy's a jerk. Or that woman's being a pain in my ass. Or whatever. Yeah,
there's guys that you just like, you don't want to be around them. You don't want to hear them. You don't want to hear their hatred. I love when a guy's funny.
Yeah.
When a guy's funny, make me laugh. I don't care make it funny.
Yes.
Just make it funny. If it's not funny, you want to just come out and spew hatred, then you're a real idiot.
Yeah.
You know? Make it funny. Make people laugh, and you're okay.
That was actually some of the best advice I got from Donnell Rawlings. I was put on a comedy benefit show, and I was opening for him. And I don't know, we were, I think we would talk different jokes or whatever. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this bit. And he's like, just do it. He's like, look, you don't have to regulate yourself. The crowd will let you know. It's like, the stage will teach you everything you need to know. If you go up on stage and tell a joke and it doesn't get a laugh, it doesn't matter how outlandish or how clean the joke was. If it doesn't get a laugh, you'll never say it again. If the crowd laughs, keep saying the shit. It's like, it's funny first, and worry about the repercussions later. Because if people are enjoying it, then, that means you're doing all right. You're not offending anybody if they're laughing.
The thing is, you don't, like a lot of guys go up, they want to do that crowd work. People don't go to work 5 days a week, go to a comedy club, spend $200-300 to take a date out to get insulted by the comic.
They get bitched out. Yeah.
We come to laugh. We didn't come here to tell me what a piece of shit I am for showing up at the comedy club.
I hate that, dude.
Yeah. Do your act. Yeah. And I'm not part of it.
Yeah, one of my least favorite things that comics do sometimes is there'll be a room, like let's say it's the Sunday show, right? And it's instead of there being 300 people, it's 50 people because it's a light night. A comic will go up there and bitch and moan about the room's half empty. It's like, why are you making the people who did show up feel bad about all the people who didn't? Don't say the room's light, this room sucks. It's like the people showed up that showed up. Don't get mad at the 200 people who didn't show up and blame the 50 who did.
Exactly.
You make them feel like an asshole for showing up. It's like,
I got to tell you a quick story before we end. I don't want to say the comic's name because I'd like him, but it was a real dick thing.
It was a bonehead move, yeah.
And it was a mistake, but I was pissed. I didn't talk to him for a long time. He asked me to come to his show. He's doing like dinner theater type of comedy thing, and he needs. So I take this girl who was the second time I ever took her out. Second time I ever took her out. And she asked her sister and her sister's.
Oh, a little double date action.
Yeah, that type of thing. But, it was new,
Yeah.
you know? And I was dying to take this girl out, dying to take her out. And finally take her out, and I asked this comic who was doing radio to mention her birthday
Yeah.
on his show. And he did. He gave her a shout out
Nice,
for her birthday. It was very nice. So we go to the show, and it cost me $300 to go to this thing.
Between the dinner, drinks, the whole thing.
He gets up on the stage, and he says, "Oh, my buddy Billy Hayes is here today. Billy always calls me up to put girls on the radio,"
Oh, no.
which was not true.
Yeah.
And what she thought was special, which I thought was
Yeah,
special,
you did it. You made a nice gesture. You made it sound like it's your move.
she never went out with me again. But it probably would have ended anyway with my stupidity.
Yeah, but you wanted to do it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't need his help. And yeah, but I'm paying for you to ruin my night.
Yeah.
With my
Well, you
date.
gotta be smarter than that. Like, I feel like as the comic, your goal is to get the crowd to have sex with each other when they leave the show. Like if people are on a date, like I want that date to end well. I don't want to bust it up.
Do you think
It's not helpful.
Do you think Al Green or Luther Vandross ever sang a song with saying, "I hope I ruined their relationship"? Fucking never.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my buddy Billy.
Trying to get us.
Yeah, my
laid.
buddy Billy. He's a real pussy hound. Anyway, hun, you'll like him. It's like, what the fuck are you talking?
What was that? I was stunned. She goes, "You do that for all the girls?" And I said, "No, he's full of shit." And I didn't talk to him for a long time. And I seen him. We talked, and
He must have been desperate for a fucking opening
dude,
bit.
what kind of shit was that?
I know.
Man? That
I
was
know.
bad news.
There you go, young comics. Don't make the crowd not fuck each other after your set.
Yeah.
You want coitus to happen. You don't want to be a cock block.
Exactly. It was ridiculous.
Oh man, appreciate you doing this, Billy. This was fun,
Randy,
buddy.
thank you so
Love
much
you,
for
bud.
having me, man.
Yeah, of course,
I love you,
dude.
brother. And
We'll do it again next time in New York. I'll rent studio space next time in New York.
Yeah.
We'll get Jeff Dye on, the three of us.
Oh, Jeff Dye.
We'll have a
I
fucking-
love Jeff.
he's
Jeff, where are you fucking lunatic? I fucking love Jeff. That
If I had to-
fucking airport story was...
Oh my God, yeah. Well, Billy's a savior. He's driven comics to airports at many an odd hour, but never picking us up
Billy's
at the bar
always
to
the
the
sober
airport.
one, so I'm always available.
Yeah, exactly. You're the fucking free
And
Uber.
fucking, I got Jeff to that plane.
Miracle.
And Jeff fucking was, "Oh, fuck, we're gonna make it. We're fucking flying there. We get there. I drop him at the airport, and then he takes the picture going to bed, and he
Yeah.
has a picture of him.
I remember one time he sent me a
Great.
picture of vomit on his shoes at the airport. He threw up in the bathroom. Like, I didn't realize I got it all over my feet.
Colin was telling me, Colin, we were talking about Jeff one day. It was something, I read something, one of his jokes. I said, "Oh, yeah, Jeff got a great bit here, blah, 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 whatever." And Colin says, "Oh, I got a story with Jeff." And he told about a story that on a plane, and I forgot what the story was. I don't want to, but then I said, "Oh, I got a plane story
Yeah,
with
well,
Jeff
dude,
too."
Jeff has had not to keep washing Jeff's balls at the end of this podcast, but he's had so many drunk on a plane stories that I forget the oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. It's a country music artist, but it's a famous country music artist, Dierks Bentley. He has a music video for a song called "Drunk on a Plane," and,
Yeah.
and Jeff starred in it. So the
Jeff
word got
is-
out.
What a good guy he is.
yeah,
He's
man.
so much, always fun. He's
The best,
always
the best. I'm going to see
he's
him in a
great.
few
I love
hours.
Jeff.
But appreciate you doing this, bud.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks
Thank
for coming
you so
on, guys.
much.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you so
That's it for this
much.
week.
Great
Follow
time,
the
great
podcast
time.
at Ready Set Blow. Follow me at Randy Valero. Billy Hayes is at Billy Hayes, right?
1751.
17
Billy Hayes, 1751.
What is 1751? The year you're
That
born?
is, that is my Marine Park address.
Okay, that was the first time you got your dick sucked. 1751.
Yeah.
All right,
I think that
guys.
was Colin Quinn.
All right, guys. That's it for this one. We love you guys. Peace.